just pivot, that was, 2 years ago, the business was, right there where you turned. We say if you could fog a mirror, you're buying a house, like that's what was happening. It's not happening now, but how are you going to make it happen? If you didn't make the shot from one angle, find a different angle.
Welcome to the Real Freedom Show, where we inspire you to pursue your passion to gain time and financial freedom through opportunities in real estate. I'm your host, Mike Swenson. Let's get some real freedom together. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Freedom, Real Estate Leveraged Freedom, where we talk about different ways that you can build time and financial freedom through different opportunities in real estate. I'm your host, Mike Swenson. If you want to get started in your journey in real estate, check out our website, freedomthroughrealestate.com. We have our episodes, blogs, you name it, different resources on there, really with the goal to help inspire you, help you find a path in real estate that's going to be a great fit for you, maybe bring up a different idea, something that's going to spur you to take action, because we know that we can't get where we want to go without taking action. And so underlying all the education is the action taking. And I know a lot of our guests speak to that as well. And so with that being said, excited about a super great episode for today. We have Cherie Walters and Nicole Juarez on the episode. They are identical twins from Twins Realty Team, two faith-driven moms who turn their passions into thriving businesses and real estate. Cherie is on the lending side, Nicole is on the agent side, and excited to hear kind of your journey of entrepreneurship and growth as you guys continue to carve out your career in real estate. So welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here. Yep. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, yeah, why don't you just start, just talk about, one of you goes, share, and then we can pop into the other one, whatever you guys want to do. But yeah, just kind of your background a little bit, getting into real estate, why real estate for you, and we'll just take the conversations from there.
Okay, well, it's typical that I go first in everything because I was the first twin born. And so I usually start most conversations and most everything, even this profession she started. Because I do mortgages like Mike said. And so I kind of started that career because I had gotten my business degree. And funny enough, the business degree really didn't get me to where I wanted to go. I didn't really feel like I was serving people that I wanted to serve, and definitely wasn't going to make the money that I had the opportunity to make in real estate. But I didn't know that at first. I just knew that being in a management position and managing people it just didn't really seem the route that I wanted to go, even though I got a business degree. Odd. But I loved money. And I always enjoyed money. Even as a kid, I thought, I want to save every penny I get. I got to save. And I always had a goal. And I always thought I'm going to help somebody with money. In fact, I started working with money as a teller. I worked at a CVS store as a teller, and I loved doing that. And I always thought about the money behind it. Then I went into ticketing and managed a cash drawer and things like that. So that's kind of, yeah, it was in me. I always thought about money. So anyways, my husband is a broker, and he said, you don't want to do managing people. So what can we do? We can put you with a mortgage lender and you can be his assistant. And I thought, well, okay, I'll do anything. Just get me out of the industry that I'm in. So went into being an assistant for someone and a broker, I'm sorry, mortgage lender, branch manager. So was his assistant for 2 years, decided, hey, I can do this by myself. I can go out and sell to real estate agents and tell them to use me as a lender. And so that's kind of how I got started. 13 years later, here I am. I'm now a branch manager at CMG Mortgages. And so love it, have built a great career in real estate, and love the behind it is just serving people and doing what I like to do, the money part of the transaction. I started in real estate. I've been a real estate agent for 12 years. So she started doing lending, and we were working at a call center prior to. And those hours are 7 to 3, or if you got a good shift, it's 7 to 3 or something like that. Or at one point I was working 1 to 10. And I had a child, and so anyways, that the hours were not optimal, not something that I really enjoyed doing. The money was okay, but not great. Either way, she got into mortgages, and we've always worked together, and we're better together. And so I saw what she was doing, and I thought, how can we work together again? Because she was now in a profession where we left each other and we weren't working together anymore. So I thought, how could we work together again? I did not want to be her competition. So I no one really wants to be her competition. She's 4 a.m. getting up in the morning and going to the gym, and she's just a beast. So I did not want to be her competition there, but I did want to work with her. So I said, okay, well, I will be a real estate agent. So I went and got my real estate license, and the rest is kind of history, but I worked really hard. We worked together. She helped me do the test, and not do the test, but study. We studied together, and it was something that was important to me to do. And so we just been working together since, doing real estate, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
Now, talk a little bit about, as we know, the business is hard. It's challenging, especially building up client bases, earning trust, earning respect as you guys get started. What would be some of your thoughts, maybe as tips or advice for people looking to get into the industry, just in terms of kind of your success, or, just talking about kind of your ways to, as you guys started to build your business, to gain some traction as you were trying to earn, market share and mind share from all your friends, family, and others?
I would say that we have different lives. I have a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old, so her life looks a little different than mine. But we're both very successful in what we do. Being a mom with younger kids, you definitely have to have a schedule. It's important to have one. Office in the morning, making phone calls, and making sure that you are available. And it's tough when you're a mom with younger kids. 4 o'clock is pickup time for the kids, so you have to make time, but you have to be at the office. And really, money should not be the motivating factor. It should be serving others, because that's something that comes later. Money is just, you work, you get paid in any profession. So, but if your is serving others and how can I make someone else's life better, you'll make money at anything. You just have to find that you have to find you have to find the service, how you're going to service them. And I think as far as my part of that, I've always thought outwork them. I might not be the smartest person in the group, but I'm going to outwork you. So I'm going to show up when they're not there. I'm going to find a time when you're sleeping, I'm up, and when you're not working, I'm working. And you'll find that there's a lot of people that can't compete in just that aspect because they're too busy going shopping, watching the grass grow. I don't know. They're not putting the effort behind it. So if you can just have that mindset of I'm gonna work when they're not working, and that is for me as a mortgage lender, that just means making the phone calls to my real estate agent saying, hey, I'm here. Do you need anything? Let me tell you what's going on in the market, providing updates, providing value. Why would they be calling? Why should they be calling you? And if you can provide the value, they'll call you, but they got to know you're out there. They got to know that you're going to answer the phone when they call. They got to know that you're going to have the resources available. You don't have to have all the answers. So for those new people, it doesn't mean that you have to have the answer. And sometimes the most trusted thing for people is to say, I don't know, but I'll get you the answer. Just get the answer. You don't have to know everything. You just got to be willing to put the work in to get the answer. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to say, I don't know the answer, call them back fairly quickly. You can't, call them 3 or 4 days later. You can't go play a round of golf and then say, hey, I'll call you back after my golf tournament. Nobody cares, about your golf tournament. They need the answer to make their real estate transaction work. And as far as the money, I'm the most pretty important part of that piece of the puzzle is the money. So if they're calling me, they need answers, and they can rely on me for that. So getting answers, outworking your competition is a big part for success on my part.
Now, talk a little bit about you guys working together. For some people, it might work together. For some people, it might not work together. Would love to hear kind of your guys' story. Obviously, you were together, then not working together, now back together. Just being able to balance, because I know sometimes, maybe it's not twins, maybe it's a spouse, a different sibling, very close friends, trying to find ways to do life together and be in business together. And sometimes that can be a challenge. So would love to just kind of hear your guys' thoughts on that, working together as sisters and as twins.
We're pastors' kids, and so we've grown up kind of being taught two is better than one. And so we really grabbed onto that early on, especially as being twins, so we knew the mindset of if somebody falls, there's someone there to pick the other person up. But as we, came into our careers, we really found that it's a big deal, especially in real estate. There's so many moving parts. If you don't have a team, there's strength in the numbers. So I can only get so many transactions done with myself. But if I tag Nicole in, if she tags in her other team member and my team, it's a unstoppable force. But so really leaning into strength in numbers and knowing that you can't get everything done by yourself, and relying on that, I feel like that just catapulted us to the next step. It's just really, how can I get more people to buy in and help me get more things done? And you don't really realize the resources that you have. Use the resources that you have. Your strength may not be talking, your strength may not be paperwork, but you have other people just look in your circle or get around people that are in that profession and lean into them. There's so many people there's lots of real estate agents, there's lots of mortgage lenders, but find a good team. Talk to them, and the ones that are willing to help you, use them. Not use them in a bad way, but let them help you. That's the one thing that I don't think that people really take in consideration. You have resources at your fingertips, and if you just use those, it can get you to where you're trying to go a lot quicker. So we have my niece and her daughter. And we tell her all the time, use your resources. You have us. It took us, maybe so many years to get where to learn from our mistakes, and we're teaching those mistakes to her so she doesn't have to learn them the hard way. So use your resources. I think that's important. It saves you time. Saves you so much time. Yeah, countless hours of time. I think if you just use the people that are around you, and don't be afraid to ask the question. Don't be afraid. It's funny that people get very intimidated by successful people, but a lot of times those successful people just want to be asked the question, just want to know. I feel like they want to pour into somebody else. They've spent so many hours into learning and crafting their skill, and so they're just waiting for somebody to say, well, how did you do it? What do you do? Or what is it? Just one piece of nugget of knowledge, it could take you to the next step. I mean, usually it's just changing one thing. And if you keep changing, making those changes just 1% better, try to be 1% better. And it's a game changer. Just having that, in your head of, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to ask, and I'm not going to be afraid. It's hard sometimes, but you can do it.
How do you guys balance wearing the sister hat, the friends hat, and the kind of business partner hat together when you guys are working? Because I worked for parents and their son on a real estate team together. And so you would see different dynamics of kind of the conflict in the workplace, or the, navigating relationships in the workplace, navigating relationships outside the workplace. I don't need to hear all the dirty laundry. I'm just curious, in terms of working together, kind of balancing, because you are business partners, your sisters, and then friends on top of being sisters. So just kind of curious to hear how that works on a day-to-day or week-by-week basis.
I have the best. Now, I don't know about her, but I have the best time. I enjoy working with her. When we're traveling, we're working. When we're working, I mean, it's just everything's incorporated together. So there's not a dull moment, but we don't really. I think the one thing that she probably gets upset with me is time management. Being on time. I am notorious that she likes to rush. I'm not rushed. You don't rush if you plan. And so there's not really that's not the problem. Really, I think forgiveness is the thing. When you're working with any team,
Grace. You have to give people
Yeah.
grace. That's the go ahead.
that's really what it boils down to, is because you understand, even though I don't like it, I understand Nicole doesn't time is a thing for her. Like if you tell her to be here at 9 o'clock, I mean, she's gonna be here at 8:59. And me, I'm like, I gotta be here 20 minutes early. I mean, really an hour early, I feel most comfortable if I'm hour early, just in case something happens, but that's not her. So I have to understand that, knowing your team member and knowing, hey, that's not her area of expertise. That's not where she's at. And if you just know that, then you accept it and then you move on. Now I know that she's not going to be here at 8, at 9 or 8 o'clock. If the meeting's at 9, I know that she's not going to be an hour early, but what can I do to prepare her for the meeting that's going to happen at 9 o'clock, so that when she gets here, we're not upset, we're not arguing, and I don't, ruin the whole energy, because it matters, like how you talk to your team, how you communicate with them. And so even though, because there's things that I'm not good at that she's good at, and so she has to, have grace on me in certain areas where I'm not very flexible. Oh, yeah, I'm not, I call her the fun twin, and I'm the black and white twin, obviously, because I do money. And it's very black and white. The maths or it don't, so I feel like I'm just, she has to have grace in other areas for me. So, and I have to be flexible. I have to be flexible with a 6-year-old. I'm a single mom, and with a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old. So I have to be flexible. There's so many different schedules that I'm managing, schedules for my clients, managing schedules for my children, my schedule. I was just thinking about that earlier today. I try to get things done by 4 o'clock. That's exercising, talking to clients, managing the files that I'm working on. There's so many things. It's all due. But you have to have a goal and a mindset of, I can do it, versus this is hard and it sucks. You'll have a moment, but you have to work through that moment and know that there's so much better, there's so many
The good outweighs
opportunities.
the
Yeah,
bad.
the good outweighs the bad. So latch on to the good and not the bad, and just overcome those obstacles. You just have to find a way to overcome the obstacles, because there's tons of obstacles in your way. About them, just get through them. The drama happens. There is no family drama, the business drama. It doesn't really matter if it's family or not. There will be drama in the workplace, but to manage it to where it's controllable. It's your teammate. Whether you've been there 10 years or 2 months, it's your teammate. So if you're working in an office together, if you're even on real estate transaction, for me, I don't win unless we all win. As whether I'm representing a seller or a buyer, I'm not winning unless we all win. So we can all win or we can all lose. And my objective is for my client to get the house sold or to buy the house, whichever the case is. That's my goal. So if I'm working with on the other side of the transaction, if I'm working with a difficult agent, oh well, I got to work with them. So I do my best to not let that energy, not be upset, and just keep the end goal in mind. How can I get through this? How can I make this transaction enjoyable for my client and myself? What can I do? So don't think about it. It's her job. Oh, it's this person's job. It's our job. And just get it done.
If you're like at a non-work thing, do you find that the two of you still keep talking about work, or are you able to turn it off when you need to?
Sadly, no.
No.
I say sadly no, because we're pretty much all all the time. It's work or church. Yeah, work or church, I guess. Because we said our dad's a pastor, and so very involved with that. She does a lot of the events. She does a lot of events, and we have Father's Day and Mother's Day and all the holidays. And so when she signs up to do something, that also includes myself. So I tag her in, of course, all the time. But no, we don't have a off button with work, but we enjoy it. So it's not really like, oh, we have to talk about work, or oh, we have to enjoy these things. So when you enjoy what you do, it's not a problem. We enjoy it. So it's fun.
Are you looking to get started or scale in real estate investing but don't know your next step? Are you overwhelmed thinking about finding deals, analyzing deals, doing due diligence, and managing properties on top of it? Go ahead and push the easy button and invest with us. Real estate investing is what we do full time. We've done dozens of deals with hundreds of doors. We have the knowledge and experience to handpick the best deals that most investors can't find. We've got large off-market deals all the time where you can hopefully find returns and economies of scale that you just can't find on your own. The best thing is it's 100% passive to you for less capital than you put down trying to acquire a property on your own. Don't let this year go by where you don't make the leap, add to your portfolio, or you just sit in analysis by paralysis. To find out more, visit freedomthroughrealestate.com and click on invest. You can book a call and learn more there. So get to scaling your portfolio now with us by your side. Now, the last couple of years of real estate have been a challenge in terms of kind of, different factors. You've got interest rates, you've got different lawsuits changing how agents act, and then business has just been a challenge. And so curious to hear from each of you, in the mortgage space and in the agent space, how you guys have been able to kind of keep afloat and keep moving forward here in the midst of the headwinds. There's times I feel like where you're in the headwinds and there's sometimes you're in the tailwinds, and we've been in headwinds for a little while. So curious to hear for your guys' perspective about overcoming a challenging market.
It has been challenging. I would definitely say you have to find a way, and finding the way is, we started doing podcasts. We just getting out there more, talking to other agents, making ourselves available to being open-minded. I think that's really been helpful, is being open-minded and understanding you have to pivot. Basically, that's what I get. What you're saying is just pivot. That was, 2 years ago, the business was, right there where you turned. We say if you could fog a mirror, you're buying a house, like that's what was happening. It's not happening now, but how are you going to make it happen? If you didn't make the shot from one angle, find a different angle. And that's the angles that we're trying to find, like Nicole mentioned, podcasts. That's just something, a different outlet, finding a way to make something happen. And you can't just say, well, man, it's real hard. Yeah, okay, and it's hard, and we pick ourselves up, and we find a way to get the deal done. You get a deal done, find a different way. So I think that because about 90% of your competition is saying it's hard. So while they're saying it's hard, you work, and you'll close the deal, and you'll make the money, and you'll continue in the business, and the other ones will still be talking about it's hard finding another job. And I think the statistics show that 90% of real estate agents quit within their first year. And you don't really, maybe, who was it that we talked to, a builder the other day, that said they've sold the agent 2 houses in a year. If you're selling 2 houses a year, you really shouldn't be in business, right? How could you be in business? I mean, and another thing to consider is a real estate agent gets paid the same amount no matter if you've been in the business 2 months or, as myself, 12 years. So and that's really crazy to think that there's no the pay scale's the same. So I think again, leaning into people that know the business, and you're willing to listen and have an open mind about learning. I think learning from others is a big part of it. You see somebody that's successful in real estate, career that you're wanting to be in, you need to use them again as a resource and talking to them. So people look at them as a competition, but I look at it as an opportunity, so learn from those people that are still making it in the business. If they withstand the test of time, a decade in the business, I mean, they're doing something. Like, if they're still in business after a decade of, it's their full-time career, not a part-time. Not I work at 8 to 5, and then after I get done with my 8 to 5, then I decide I'm going to be a real estate agent or a mortgage lender or a blah blah blah. How can you be a profession at that? How can that be your profession, and how can you guide people through the most important part of their life? Maybe 5 homes has purchased within their lifetime, a forever home or whatever the case may be. But how can you really guide them through that transaction if that's not your full-time career?
Interesting when you mentioned pivot, Cherie, because for me, that's kind of what got me into investing myself in real estate more, because I remember I was working with investor clients, helping them buy small multifamily properties. And as the market started to change and the rates went up, a lot of my clients are like, yeah, these rates are too high, I'm just going to wait. And I remember thinking, like, okay, so if my clients are all waiting and this is how I make my money, I need to pivot myself, right? And so then I was like, how do I find properties that I can say yes to? And that was kind of the seed of pivot. And yeah, for people that have been in the business for 20, 30, 40 years and you've gone through multiple market cycles, you're right. You have to find ways to pivot. What worked 2 years ago or 3 years ago might not work today. And so intriguing that you guys are, open up to, new challenges, new ways of marketing yourselves and finding yourselves to be able to keep afloat and keep things moving forward in the headwinds. So as you guys think about the future here, what do you guys think about your future in real estate? Is it, I'm going to continue to do what I love? Is it, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life and we'll keep doing that? Or kind of curious to hear, what are you guys thinking about as you think about the future for you guys over the next 10, 20 years?
Oh, we're going to keep doing it. And we're gonna do it well. I feel like we've found our area of expertise. We now have the experience to back up the license that we have now. So we have the experience of helping those customers get through the challenges and getting to their dream home. And so now we can really use that as a testimony to other people and get those people to buy homes. And so I'm just so excited about it because I feel like now we can use that information. We have the customers and we have the credibility. The credibility there. So I'm excited about it, and I think it's just going to be we're at the start of the biggest part of the next few years. That's what I think. I agree. I think I'm excited about it too, but I also see us doing a little bit more of education for newer agents and people that have not been in the industry, and educating them and letting them know it's possible. You can work at Walmart and decide to change your mind and start a new career, and you can do it. And here are the ways to do it. And here's how we did it, because we did it. We went from an 8 to 5 work for somebody, and I'll never work for anybody again a day in my life. I will not do it. But I would love to empower other people to be able to say they did that, and to say that just because I have an associate's degree in business, and that's it, really. But you don't need a degree to be a mortgage lender, and so even
Or real estate agent.
I don't have a degree at all. So and a single mom. I'm excited about letting people know that you can do it. You can absolutely can do it. It doesn't matter what's in your way. Single mom, no degree. Who cares? If you want to do it, you can do it. Just get out there and do it. Make it happen. So I'm excited about educating people and letting them know all of that is possible.
I know for me, talking to our kids about education and stuff like that, my wife has 2 master's degrees, and being able to say, hey, she's got a degree in what she's doing, and if you want to do what dad does, you don't have to have a degree. That doesn't mean you are instantly successful. You still got to learn a lot of things, and I know people can get degrees in different things. And my degree was in entrepreneurship, and so I look at that as that's kind of a multi-purpose tool that is helpful in real estate, even though it's not real estate. And I had considered minoring in real estate in college and decided not to. And then 10 years later, got back into real estate. So there's lots of different things you can do. So thank you guys so much for coming on, sharing your story. Love to see both of your unique perspectives on the business and your unique niches also being in the business and lending on the real estate side. For people that want to reach out to you, learn more about what you guys are doing or connect with you, how can they do so?
You can go onto our Facebook page at Twins Realty Team. We also have a YouTube channel, Twins Realty Team, so you can catch us there. We're on Instagram, same Twins Realty Team, so that's where you can find us.
You've got the market covered, Twins Realty Team. Awesome.
Yep.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck to you guys as you continue in the future.